Welcome back to Fast Market here on the Schwab Network. We're talking Amazon. Shares are up about 66% so far in 2023. It's had a good year. Kev, it seems like this stock has been re-rated by traders and investors due to the fact that their margins are improving a little bit. We saw probably a trough in some of their e-commerce. They started working on efficiencies as far as headcount cuts. But at the same time, you know, they're starting to see slower growth in the cloud. Their lead in that space has been chipped away a little bit by some of the competitors, but it seems like everybody's on board that, hey, Amazon's back and everything's okay.
1 year, 3 year chart in Amazon tells a different story. Right. This year, you look at the 1 year chart, it looks glorious, right?
Great.
I mean, this stock is up, what, 65%? You said year to date?
Yeah.
Well, it was down 50% a year ago with the market down 20%.
Right.
So they hammered it good. But listen, we've talked about this a couple times on this show. Them getting into healthcare, if you're in a business that has high margins or you're the middleman, Amazon will attack you. And healthcare could be a big winner for them long time. But they still need e-commerce to stay stable, and they need the cloud to stay stable. But here's the thing. Advertising is still where they're going to do the mother load of their revenue is coming from advertising. I think them buying MGM was huge. I watched Amazon the other day. I watched football Thursday night on Amazon.
On Amazon,
First time I've done it, really, because I have a new TV. Incredible.
Yeah.
You do the Prime Vision where you get the extra data and stuff? It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Because they give you data throughout the
it's
program.
a different experience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Amazon is a real player challenging Netflix in streaming.
Yep. And they bought MGM, the studios segment
which gives
of that.
them
Content right away to kind of compete with the big ones in that space. But Kevin mentioned advertising, Alex. That advertising increased 22% over last year in their last quarterly earnings report. So that's another area, because they're in so many different pillars, 3 or 4 pillars, that this could be a good thing for margins, because revenue on advertising is typically pretty good.
Yeah, so the economies of scale for a company like Amazon start working against it in some cases, because to move the envelope, they need a lot.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem with a company like this. The growth rates that they had 10 years ago, they're never going to happen. But they are at the luxury where they've made so much money over the years that they can start investing and finding new places. We've talked about this exact idea that these ecosystem-like companies, the Apples of the world, the Microsofts, the Amazons, the Alphabets, they're trying to interact with consumers in every facet of their lives. And so Amazon started as a bookstore. Apple started as a computer, Microsoft as a computer, Alphabet as a search engine online. They've all come at it from a different place, but they're going to the same place. And so I look at this as, hey, this is an arms race amongst these mega cap companies to be the best place for everything, because if your wallet starts getting pinched a little bit, they don't want you canceling Amazon Prime.
Right.
They want you to have reasons to be on Amazon Prime. And so there was rumblings, of course, of their investment into potentially a cellular service at some points. And so the one caution I would kind of throw is that as they start to step into more and more areas, we've even seen this with names like Apple, the likelihood of making a misstep increases. And if you start jumping into, producing movies, for example, it might be successful, but just because you have a really successful e-commerce business doesn't mean that you're going to be successful at making movies, or running a cellular service if that's something they do, or whatever business that they go into. Now, Kevin makes a good point. I think largely the Amazon Prime and sort of the disruptive approach to Thursday Night Football and the broadcast for NFL has been well received. And so in some cases, you can also succeed, and you can get more reasons for advertisers to come in and people to join Amazon Prime. So I look at this as it's a double-edged sword. Success can be a great thing, but there's a lot more opportunity for missteps the more they put their technicals into other things.
Yeah.
And one last thing about Amazon. We were talking last week about how NVIDIA's PE and ARM Holdings PE, 111 PE in Amazon.
Yeah.
Yow.
Yeah, valuations
Not exactly
are up there.
cheap.
And then that was the reason for the slide last year. They said valuation and then the pullback in the consumer, but once they started cutting headcount, and we're not seeing a re-acceleration in the cloud business, but their margins are still pretty robust. Margins actually grew on the e-commerce side of it, which is always helping that re-rate that I think analysts are giving it.